Hello guys, welcome back to YT Classroom. I hope you all are doing well. Today we'll be solving the Igcse Mathematics paper from October-November 2024. This is 0580 paper 2 variant 1 from October-November 2024. It's a 70-mark paper with a duration of 1 hour 30 minutes. However, as per the syllabus changes, the new paper 2 is of 100 marks, and it's a non-calculator paper starting from the 2025 Feb-March series. However, this paper shall still be useful for your practice because it has a lot of topics that will be appearing again in your Igcse mathematics. So I'll be explaining all the questions, and if you find this video helpful, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Much more exciting content, including newer papers, are coming out soon. Alright, now let's start the video and move to question number 1. Now question number 1 says that a concert, it starts at 1950 and finishes 2 hours and 42 minutes later. Work out the time the concert finishes. Now 1950 basically means 7:50 in the evening. So you have 1950. We're going to add 2 hours to that. 2 hours. What does that give you? That gives you 2050 and 2150. After that, if we add 40 minutes, 2150 plus 42 minutes, that will basically be 22:32, which is basically 10:32 p.m. So you can write this as 22:32, or you can also write it as 10:32 p.m. Both of these are correct answers. Next question says find the reciprocal of 1 whole 1 by 4. In order to find the reciprocal, you need to convert it into this is a mixed fraction, so you convert it into improper fraction. 4 into 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 1 whole 1 over 4 can be written as 5 over 4. Reciprocal basically involves changing the numerator and the denominator with each other. So 4 goes up into numerator and 5 goes into denominator. You get 4 over 5. That's the answer to the second question. Now let's move on to question number 3. It says that use the symbols greater than, lesser than, or equal to make each statement true. First of all, you have 2 over 7 and 0.2861. If I do my calculator 2 over 7, I get 0.2857, which is less than 0.2861. So obviously we'll put a greater than symbol over here. Then 99 over 900 multiplied by 100 is basically equivalent of 11%, and 11% is on the other side as well, so they must both be equal. 1 raised to 3 is basically going to be 1, and 4 raised to 0 is also equivalent to 1, so they both are equal. Now let's move on to question number 4. Safia has a piece of fabric of length 5.6 meters. She cuts the fabric into 2 parts with the length in the ratio 3:4. Work out the length of the longer part. So in order to work out the length of the longer part, what we need to do is we need to divide. We know that the 4, like the part which has the ratio of 4 will be longer, so we're going to take 4. And what's the total? Total is going to be 3 plus 4, and we have to multiply it with 5 over 5.6. Anytime you want the ratio of some quantity, you take the quantity first, that means like what's its ratio, divided by the total ratio, which is 3 plus 4 multiplied by 5 by 6, which is equivalent of 4 over 7 into 5.6. And I believe that 5.6 can be cancelled out with 7, which will give us 4 into 0.8, because 7 into 5.6 divided by 7 is 0.8. So 4 into 0.8, which is equivalent of 3.2. So the longer part is 3.2 meters. And I hope this is clear. You could do this calculation with the calculator as well, but since calculators are not allowed, I'm trying to avoid the use of calculators. Alright, now let's move on to question number 5. So here it says that you work out this. You have 3 outside and you have 6 and -4 inside. What you do is you multiply both of them with 3. That's going to be 18 and -12. I'm going to write this answer down here. 3 into 6 is 18 and 3 into 4 is -12. On the other side, we have the addition. 4 plus -7, that is 4 minus 7, which is -3. -1 plus 5, that's going to be 4. So -3 and 4. That's how we do it. -3 and 4. -3 and 4. 18 and -12. Alright. Now the next question says the diagram shows a right angle triangle ABC and a quadrilateral. So we have a right angle triangle which is ABC, the big one, and a quadrilateral AEDC. work out the value of x. So x is here. We know that the angles on a straight line add up to 180. So 180 minus 122, that's going to be 58 degrees. Very easy question. I believe this is 1 mark. Yes. Next question is work out the value of y. The value of y is here. Now if you see A, C, D, and E is a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral means that the angles in this must add up to, okay, no. The angles in this must add up to 360, but since we're not aware of two angles, we cannot use this property. All right, let's use some other property. Another property is that since this is a triangle, the total angle of the triangle should be what it should be, basically 180 degrees. I have 34 here, I have 90 here, I have 17 plus y here. So I know that 90 plus 34, 90 plus 34, yes, 90 plus 34 plus y plus 17 plus y plus 17 should equal to 180 because the angles in a triangle always add up to 180. Now 90 plus 34 plus 17 is basically 141 plus y is equivalent to 180. So y is going to be 39 degrees. I hope that's clear, 39 degrees. Now we move on to the third part, which is that you find the value of z. Now as we know, the angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. We can work out this angle and then we can subtract this angle with 360 to work out the value of z. So first of all, what you're going to do is 90, which is this angle, 122, and this angle, y. First of all, 90 plus 122 plus 39. Now what does that give me? 90 plus 122 plus 39 is 251. All right, yeah, 251. 360 minus 251, 360 minus 251 is equivalent of 109. So now we know that this angle is going to be 109. This z would be 360 minus 109 because angles around a point added to 360. So when we do 360 minus 109, it will automatically be 251 as we have done the previous calculation. So this is going to be 251. Now we move on to question number 7, which is factorize 28x minus 35. We know that 28 and 35 both are multiples of 7. So we're going to take 7 out. 7 into 4 is 28. There's an x minus 5. We cannot simplify it any further because 4 and 5 are not common in any table or any times table. So 7 into 4x minus 5. Then it says that Edits invests 3,000 in a savings account. The account pays simple interest at a rate of 2.6% per year. Calculate the total interest earned at the end of 3 years. So the formula is you take the amount, which is the original amount 3,000, you multiply it by the rate 2.6, and you multiply it by 3, and you divide the whole by 100. And you can now, basically what you can do is you can do this whole thing in a calculator. 3000 into 2.6 into 3 divided by 100 is $234. So the interest earned at the end of the 3 years is going to be $234. You can do this calculation with with manually also without this calculator. Simply do the multiplication and a bit of cancelling as well to ensure that you can get the answer quickly. Now we'll move on to the next question, which says the diagram shows a part of a regular polygon. The interior angle of the polygon is 132 degrees larger than the exterior angle. So this is a polygon, it's a part of a polygon. There's an interior angle of x plus 132 and there's an exterior angle of x. Calculate the number of sides of this polygon. In order to calculate the number of the sides of this polygon, what we have to do is we have to find the value of x. All right, if you want to find the value of x, how will we find the value of x? We know that the angles on a line, they will always add up to 180. So I know that x plus 132 plus x is equivalent of 180. So I know that 2x is equivalent of 180 minus 132, which is 48. So x is going to be 24. All right, now when I know that x is 24, I know that this angle will be 132 plus 24, which is 156. All right, and this angle is going to be 24, 156 plus 24, 180. Now, if you apply the formula that 180 n minus 2, 180 n minus 2 is a formula which will allow you to get the sum of the angles in a polygon. And if you divide this by n, which is the number of sides, then you get the individual angles. We know that the individual angles is 156. So now I simply use this 180n minus 360 is equivalent of 156n. 180 n minus 156n is going to be 24n is equivalent of 360. So if I do n 360 divided by 24, I get 15. So that's why my correct answer is 15 sides. I hope this question is clear as well. 15. Now question number 10. It says that Jacinda plays a game with her friend. She can win, lose, or draw the game. The probability that she wins the game is 0.28. Now, Jacinda is twice as likely to draw the game as to lose the game. Work out the probability that she loses the game. Now, we do know that the total probability is equivalent to 1. The probability that she wins is 0.28. Okay, now let the probability that she loses be x. So it says that the probability that she draws the game is twice of x, because so draw is going to be 2x. All right, as it says here, Jacinda is twice as likely to draw the game as to lose the game. So now we know that 0.28 plus x plus 2x is going to be 1. So 3x is equivalent of 1 minus 0.28, which is equivalent of 0.72. X is equivalent of 0.72 divided by 3, which is equivalent of 0.24. All right, so the x is the probability that she loses the game, and that probability is 0.24. Now it says that Jacinda plays the game 150 times. Find the expected number of times that she wins. So the probability that she wins the game is 0.28. We just have to multiply the number of times 150 into 0.28. What does that give you? 150 into 0.28 gives you 42 times. So the expected number of times that she's supposed to win is 42. I hope this part is as clear as well. Now let's move to question number 11. It says that without using a calculator, work out this, giving an answer in a mixed number. First of all, 5 1 over 3 is same as 5 into 3 is 15 plus 1 is 16. So 16 over 3 subtracted with 7 into 3 is 21 plus 4 is 25. So 25 over 7. Now what you're going to do is it's subtraction, so you want to get a common multiple. Common multiple, or you can also do, like butterfly method. So 16 into 7 is basically going to be 112. 25 into 3 is 75 over 21. So when I do 112 minus 75, I get 37. Okay, 37 over 21. All right, 37 over 21 can be written as, if you want to write it down, we can write this down as, 1 whole. And then what is 37 minus 21? It's 16. 16 over 21. So you can say 1 whole 16 over 21. 1 whole 16 over 21. All right, first thing that you do is you convert them into improper fractions. Then you use any method to subtract the fractions, which the method I've done is called butterfly method, which involves 16 being multiplied with 7, subtracted with 25 times 3 over the whole over 7 into 3. I get 37 over 21. Now since 37 is a larger number, there will be 1 whole. Then what I need to do is 37 minus 21, I'd get 16 over 21, which is the same numerator. And that's for my final answer, 1 whole 16 over 21. Now we move to question number 12, which is you solve the simultaneous equations and show all of your working. So here we have 5x plus 6y is equivalent of 9, and 3x minus 2y is equivalent of negative 17. Let this be equation 1 and let this be equation 2. In order to eliminate, we need to ensure that at least some of the things are same. So we see there's negative 2y here. If I can somehow make this negative 6y or 6y, then I could make this work. I have 6y here. I'm going to let that be 9 and 5x. Okay, this is my equation 1. But for the second equation, if I put negative 6y here, that means I need to multiply negative 2y with 3. So I will multiply 3x with 3 as well, which will be 9x, and negative 17 with 3 as well. Negative 17 with 3, which is equivalent of negative 51. All right, now what I need to do is I need to add them, because 6 plus minus 6 is 0. So if I add them, I'm going to get that if I'm adding them, 5 plus 9 is 14x is equivalent of 9 plus minus 51, which is equivalent of negative 42. So I would get x as negative 42 divided by 14, which is negative 3. Now the only thing remaining is to find the value of y. In order to get the value of y, what I would do is I can use any of the equations. So if I use the first equation, I'm going to get that 6y is equivalent of 9 minus 5x. So y is equivalent of 9 minus 5, replacing the x with negative 3, dividing by 6. So 9 minus 5 into negative 3 divided by 6 is equivalent of 4. Okay, so x is going to be negative 3, y is going to be 4. Now question number 13 says a sequence has an nth term 3n squared minus 1. Find the second term in the sequence. Second n basically refers to which term you want. So if I want the second term, I'm simply going to replace n with 2 square minus 1. So 3 into 2 square minus 1 gives you 11. So that's what the second term is going to be, 11. The table shows the first 5 terms of sequences A and B. Complete the table to show the nth term of each sequence. Now in the sequence A, I can see that every time if I move from a term to the other term, I'm adding 4, like negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2, plus 4 gives me 2, 6, and 10. So my common difference is basically going to be negative 4, right? Negative 4 and what now if I put negative 4 times 1, I would get negative 4. No, I'm adding 4, so I'm adding 4n to every term. Okay, now I need to see that what do I have to make this equation complete. I have got my common difference, which is 4, and write that with n. But if I put in 1, let's say 4 into 1 is 4, but here it's negative 6. So I can subtract with 10. Now let's check if it works with the other ones. 4 into 2 is 8, 8 minus 10 is negative 2, that works. 4 into 3 is 12, 12 minus 10 is 2. 4 into 4 is 16, 16 minus 10 is 6. So hence it does work, and therefore we're going to say that it's going to be 4n minus 10. Alright. Now I would need a bit of working for the second part. It's 4 marks. Most of the marks will be for this part. Now in this case, you can see that there is no specific pattern, which I'm going to show you right now. 17 minus 3 is going to be plus 14. 55 minus 17 is plus 38. 129 minus 55 is plus 74. 251 minus 129 is plus 122. Alright, then I need to find another pattern because these numbers are not matching. So 38 minus 14 is positive plus 24. 74 minus 38 is plus 36. 122 minus 74 is plus 48. Now 24, if I get plus 12, plus 12. Alright, so now I've gotten this and I've used a number of formulas to determine the equation. First is that 6a is equivalent of 12. This is for the last term, so a is going to be 2. Then 12a plus 2b is equivalent of 24. We are trying to move up. So I know that 12 into 2 plus 2b is 24. Now 12 into 2 is 24. That means that 2b is going to be 0, so b is 0. Then 7a plus 3b plus c is equivalent to 14. When I put 7 times the value of 2 plus 3 times 0 plus c is going to be 14. Now I do know that 7 into 2 is 14, so c is also going to be 0. Then a plus b plus c plus d is equivalent of what? It's equivalent of 3. I've only gotten one value. B and c are 0, so 2 plus d is equivalent of 3. So d is going to be 1. So my final equation is going to be the value of a, which is 2, into n cube plus the value of b into n square plus c into n plus d. But since b and c are 0, we can simply say 2n cube plus the value of 1. Now I have to check. So 2 into 1 cube, if I put 2 into 1, if I substitute n1 plus 1, I get 3, which is correct. Now if I check for 2, I get 17, that's also correct. For 3, it's 55, that's also correct. So therefore, it's going to be 2n cubed plus 1. And this topic is cubic sequences. If you have not learned it, please do learn it because it's a vital part of your syllabus. Now we move on to question number 14. It says that two solid steel statues are mathematically similar. The smaller statue it has a height 12 and the larger has a height 15. The larger statue has a mass of 2.5. The density is also given. Find the volume of the smaller statue. Now, in order to determine the volume of the smaller statue using the similarity properties, we need to know the volume of the larger ones. Here it is given the density is mass divided by volume. So in order to determine volume, it's going to be mass over density.
The mass is 2.5 kg. The density is 8. But remember now it's an 8 grams, but this is 2500 2.5 kg. So what I would do is I convert it 2500 kg divided by 8. 2500 divided by 8 is going to be 312.5. Alright, so that's the volume. Now I simply apply my similarity properties. Volume of the smaller statue over the volume of the larger one is equivalent of the height of the smaller statue cubed over the height of the larger statue cubed, because volume is basically length cubed. So I volume smaller statue or the volume of the larger statue, which is 312.5, is equivalent to the height of the smaller one, which is 12 cubed, over the height of the larger one, which is 15 cubed. So this volume is going to be 312.5 minus 12 cubed over 15 cubed. 312.5 into 12 cubed over 15 cubed. What I get is 160. 160. So that's going to be my final answer. 160 centimeter cubed. 160. Now we have this one. The students in class P take a test. These statistics show information about the marks. Draw a box and whisker plot to represent information. Now our lower quartile is set at 38. So we're going to put a bar at 30, a line at 38, which is going to somewhere here, 38. Okay. The length of this is your choice, but I prefer to keep in between these two lines. No, 38 would be here. Be careful of the axis and what does each of the boxes mean. 38 would be roughly somewhere here. All right, the median is 53. So 50. Now this is 52. So this is 53. It's going to be somewhere here. All right, this line is not straight, I know. The interquartile range is 28. Interquartile range refers to the difference between the lower quartile and the upper quartile. So the lower quartile is 38. Upper quartile will be 38 plus 28, which is 66. That is somewhere going to be here. All right, then I can draw a box because these are the different quartiles and the median. All right, then we're going to put a range. The range is 81 with the highest mark being 96. So 96 is your highest mark and 96 would be somewhere here. For this, we just draw a straight line from here. Okay. Now I know that the range is 81. Range refers to the difference between the highest and the lowest. So if I do 96 minus 81, I would get 15. 15 would be basically, this is 10, so 12, 14. 15 would be somewhere here. No, 10, 12, 14, and 15. Yes, here. All right. Then what I would do is I just put them like this, connect them, and therefore this is how it would look like. Obviously, this line, it would be straight. You have to use a ruler for that. Wait, what is the median again? The median was 53. 52, 53, yes. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now let's move on to the other part. Would say that students in class Q take the same test. The median is 49 and the interquartile is 35 for them. Now, in this, the median was 53, but for class Q, the median is lower. So we can say that the class Q scored fewer marks on average because as the median is lower. Class Q, you have to make two comments about the data and comparing them. So they scored, first of all, fewer marks on average, fewer marks on average, as now how do we say this? As the median is lower, as the median is lower. And another part is, what about the interquartile range? Now the interquartile range is 35, where here the interquartile range is 28. So that means the class Q values, they have a larger spread of marks as the IQR is higher. So as IQR of class Q is higher, class Q has larger spread of marks. Class Q has larger spread of marks. That means that the variety in the marks, like people's marks are not concentrated around a single point. They're much more varied, or they are much more, like different or expanded over the scale, rather than just being contracted towards a central point. All right, now we move on to question number 16, which says the diagram shows a sphere of radius 6 centimeters and a cylinder of height 18 centimeters and a radius of r. The volume of the sphere is equal to the volume of the cylinder. Calculate the curved surface area of the cylinder. Now, what is the volume of the cylinder? The volume is basically the area at the top, which is pi into r square, into the height 18. It is equivalent of the volume of the sphere. The volume of the sphere, the formula is given 4 by 3 pi r cubed, 4 by 3 pi into the value of r cubed. R is given as 6, 6 cubed. It's simple. In order to get r square, what I would do is I would do 4 by 3 pi into 6 cubed divided by 18 pi, because 18 is here in 18 pi. Let r square be on the other side. So r square is here, is equivalent of, use your calculator, 4 by 3 pi into 6 cubed divided by 18 pi. I would get 16. So obviously r is going to be 4. Okay, now if I know that the r is 4, this is not complete. Curved surface area. Curved surface area, that means only this part, not the top bases. So now to determine curved surface area, what we have to do is we have to take the circumference of the circle, that is going to be 2 into pi into 4, and multiply it by the height. This is using the property of nets. So consider yourself, when you open up the tin, you would see that the curve is a rectangle, which has one dimension of 18, and the other dimension would be this one, that is the circumference of the circle. So 2 pi into 4 give me the circumference, multiplied by the height 18. 2 pi into 4 into 18. That gives me 144 pi. And it says that give your answer in terms of pi over here. So I'm just simply going to say 144 pi. 144 pi. Now it says that 3x squared minus 7x minus 16. I gotta solve this and give your answer to two decimal places. Use the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So negative b. Now, since it's negative, what's the value of b? It's negative 7. Negative into negative is basically going to be positive. Negative of negative 7 plus minus negative 7 squared minus 4 into 3, which is the value of a, negative 16. Make sure your signs are correct. 2 into 3. Now simply put this in your calculator. 7 plus square root of, it's going to be 49 minus 4 into 3 into negative 16 over 2 times 3. So that gives you 3.75 to two decimal places. And if I change the plus with minus, I would get negative 1.42. Negative 1.42. 3.75 is one value. Negative 1.42 is your second value. Now it says that find x when g of x is equivalent to 1. That means you have to find the value of x when 4x plus 3 is equivalent of 1. Now you know that any number raised to the power of 0 is equivalent to 1. So we can say that x plus 3 is 0 because 4 raised to 0 is always 1. So in this case, x is equivalent of negative 3. Negative 3. Alright, now the second part says find g inverse of 1 over 16. Now what does this mean? This means that this function has been applied somewhere with the value of x and you have gotten 1 over 16. You have to now find the value of x. So what do you think when you raise to, like, which number would you raise to 4 to get 1 over 16? We know that 4 raised to negative 2. 4 raised to negative 2 is equivalent of 1 over 16. So can we say that x plus 3 is equivalent of negative 2? X plus 3 is negative 2. So x would be obviously negative 5. Alright, this is the result. Now you do the inverse and you find the value of x here. And x is equivalent of negative 5. Logs can be applied here, but that makes the whole process much more complex. Now, here it says there's a universal set containing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. P is odd numbers, Q contains multiples of 3, and R is square numbers. Now, you have to find a number which belongs to all categories. It's an odd number, odd multiple of 3, which is also square. And the only odd multiple of 3, which is also square, is 9. So 9 is the only number. Find Q union R. That means multiples of 3 as well as square numbers. Multiples of 3 are 369, I'm going to say. And what about square numbers? Square numbers are 149. So we have got, we could erase this. We have got 1, 3, 6, 9, as well as 4. So 1, 3, 4, 6, 9. 1, 3, 4, 6, 9. It is better if you write these in the correct order. It says the number of elements in Q union R naught intersection with P. That means those numbers which are, wait, Q union R. So which are not multiples of 3 or square numbers, but they are odd numbers. Okay, now what are the multiples of 3 and square numbers? Multiples of 3 and square, just a minute. Q union, yeah. What are the multiples of 3? 3, 6, 9. And what are the square numbers? 4 and 1. So now, not any of these numbers, but there should be odd number. They should belong to P. So in this case, we have 5 and 7 are the only odd numbers which are there. So the only two numbers. It's not asking for the numbers, but the number of elements. So that's going to be 2. Again, I'll make this clear. Q union R basically represents numbers which are multiples of 3 or square numbers, or it can also be AND. So 1, 3, 4, 6, and 9, they're either multiples of 3 or the square numbers. 2, 5, 7, 8, 10 are not multiples of 3 or square numbers. Then out of these, how many are odd? 5 and 7 are only odd, so therefore you get only, that's what you get. All right, now we have to go to question number 20. The diagram shows two right-angled triangles, PQS and RQT. Find the angle QTR. All right, so I've marked this over here. Just want to mark it again. QTR represents this angle. Remember, the term at the center represents which angle you're talking about. All right, now for this triangle, as you can see, I only have one dimension, which is 9. But I have the angle 28, 18, and so that I can find the length of SQ. So I can say that for SQ, in order to get SQ, what I'm going to do is sine of 28 is equivalent of the opposite, which is x, let's say, divided by the adjacent, which is 18, because sine, not adjacent, hypotenuse, which is 18, because sine theta is equivalent of opposite over hypotenuse. So x is going to be sine 28 into 18. What does that give you? 8.450488813. Now, obviously, it's not a requirement to write down this value completely, but I do prefer writing it down. But you have to ensure that your calculations are correct, otherwise your answer could be messed up. Then, now this is the whole length of SQ. If I want to find the length of TQ, I can subtract that with 4. So I can say that TQ is equivalent of this value, that is 8.45048813 minus 4, which is equivalent of 4.45048813. Now if I just want to find the value of QTR, I can apply tan, which is opposite is here, adjacent is here. So I can do tan theta, tan inverse of opposite value is 9 divided by 4.45048813. Simply insert this in a calculator, tan inverse of 9 over the value, which gives me 63.7 degrees. 63.7 degrees. All right, now moving on to the next question. How many questions have we got? We have got, okay, only a few more questions. Solve the equation 3 tan x plus 5 is equivalent of 1. So in this case, 3 tan x is equivalent of 1 minus 5, which is negative 4. 1 minus 5, negative 4. Tan x is equivalent of negative 4 over 3. All right, now if I want to find the value of x, I would get tan inverse of negative 4 over 3, which is equivalent of negative 53.130102235. But since it says value from 0 to 360, then I cannot use this value because it's less than 0. So what I do is I add 180 to this, because I know that tan values repeat every 180. So if I add 180 to this, I would get 126.7. And if I add again 180 to that, I get 306.9. All right. So what I do is I would do negative 53.130102235, and again negative 53.130102235. I would add 180 to both of them. Here I would add 180 two times, because If I add once, I would get the previous value. It's going to be 126.9. It's an angle, so always 1 dB. And this one would be 306.9. Remember, when it's a negative value, just add 180 for tan and you would get the answer. 126.9, 306.9. Alright, now we move on to the next part, which says the graph for the curve like y equals to x plus 2, x minus 1 squared is shown. Show that this can be written as this. Simple. First of all, you expand this. X minus 1 square is same as x minus 1 into x minus 1. So that is same as x square minus 2x plus 1. If I take x plus 2 now, which is the other multiple, into x square minus 2x plus 1, I would get x into x cubed minus 2x square plus x plus 2x square minus 4x plus 2. So that gives me x cubed, I would get this term, negative 2x square and 2x square gets cancelled. 1 minus 4 is negative 3x plus 2. Hence, we have proved it. Now it says that by drawing a suitable straight line, solve this equation. 2x cubed minus 5x is equivalent of 0. But I know that my initial one, it has only, x cubed. And or definitely if it's a straight line, then it would not involve in terms of x cubed. So if the equation is y is equivalent of x cubed minus 3x plus 2, I can say that 2y is equivalent of 2x cubed minus 3x plus 2. Alright. And here I have one more equation that says 0 is equivalent of 2x cubed minus 5x. Now if I subtract these both, equations, I would get that 2y is equivalent of, negative 3, negative 5, which is 2x. Oh, no. Just give me a minute. Y is equivalent of x cubed. Alright. We have kind of messed up. Wait. If I know that y is equivalent of x cubed minus 3x plus 2, so 2y is going to be 2x cubed minus 6x plus 4. And here I have one more that says that 2x cubed minus 5x is basically equivalent of 0. Alright, now I can subtract them. When I subtract them, I'm going to get 2y is equivalent of negative 6, negative 5, negative x plus 4. So I'd get that y is equivalent of negative half x plus 2. Now if I draw this line, negative half x plus 2, alright, I remove this point, negative half x plus 2, negative half into the value of x plus 2. So when I put 1, I get 1.5. When I put 2, I get 1. Alright, so simply what I do is I take my ruler, where's my ruler, and I draw this line as accurately as possible. Alright, then what I do is I find the points of intersection. So definitely you can guess on the original equation that 2x cubed minus 5x is 0. If x is 0, 2x cubed will be 0 and 5x is 0. So x has to be 0 for 1. Another one is this point. This point is basically around 1.6, that is x is equivalent to 1.6 if I take it down. Or this point is also negative 1.5, so negative 1.6. So both the points are negative 1.6. Alright, negative 1.6 for both. No, one is 1.6 and one is negative 1.6. Negative 1.6. I hope this part is clear. Now let's move on to the last question. It says that x minus 5 squared plus k is this. Find the value of p and the value of q. Now what is x minus 5 squared? It's basically same as x minus 5 into x minus 5, which is same as x squared minus 10x plus 25. So we can say that x squared minus 10x plus 25 plus k is equivalent of x squared minus px minus 21. So there's only term that involves x is negative 10x and px. So we can say that negative 10x is equivalent of negative px. So obviously p is equivalent of 10. That's my first value. Then to determine the k value, I know that 25 plus k is equivalent of negative 21. So k is going to be negative 21 minus 25, which is negative 46. Negative 46. Alright, now by solving this question, we have arrived at the end of this paper. I hope this video was really helpful, and I wish the best of luck to all of you guys who are preparing for the Feb, March, May, June, or any other exam series that is coming up. You have got this. Also, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, and you can also take a thanks to me by using my super thanks option or joining my channel for exclusive access. If you guys have any doubts, please do post them in the comments and I will try to answer them as soon as possible. Also, if you guys have any video suggestions for any subject or any paper, please do post it down below. I cannot promise, but I'll try my best to make sure that I can post those videos. Alright, see you in the next video. Thank you so much.